The weak think sales is manipulation. The powerful understand sales is control. This confusion isn't accidental. It comforts people who lack leverage. Someone like Machiavelli would recognize this immediately. People often moralize the very things they fail to master. By labeling sales as something dirty or unethical, they protect themselves from admitting a harsher truth. They simply don't know how to influence outcomes. Sales is not the art of convincing equals. It is the management of hierarchy. When selling feels uncomfortable, it's rarely because the act itself is wrong. It's usually because the seller approaches the conversation from below the buyer, asking for approval instead of establishing position. And no one respects someone who asks permission to lead. Rejection doesn't hurt simply because it's painful. It hurts because it exposes powerlessness. Every hesitation, every unnecessary explanation, every premature discount. These are silent confessions. They signal uncertainty, and uncertainty invites resistance. Human beings are not logical creatures first. They are territorial creatures first. Long before someone analyzes your words, they sense your posture. They detect weakness before they process logic. And this leads to one of the biggest lies in sales: the idea that selling is about persuasion. Persuasion is what people use when authority is missing. True selling is about positioning yourself as the inevitable choice. This is also why aggressive sellers often fail. Aggression is not strength, it's noise. Machiavelli warned that rulers who rely heavily on force are actually revealing instability. The same dynamic exists in sales. The seller who pressures, rushes, or begs signals desperation, and desperation repels people. Power behaves differently. Power is calm. A seller who truly holds control does not chase the deal. Instead, he structures the situation so the deal moves toward him. He assumes value. He doesn't desperately try to prove it. Proof belongs in courtrooms. Dominance belongs in presence. And this is why selling something you secretly doubt is fatal. Doubt fractures authority. Your body exposes it immediately. Your tone weakens. Your words soften. Confidence slowly turns into negotiation. The buyer may not consciously analyze this shift, but they feel it. And when people feel uncertainty, they withdraw. Another myth in sales is the belief that price is the main objection. It rarely is. The real objection is authority. Machiavelli understood that legitimacy always comes before obedience. A ruler who questions his own right to rule invites rebellion. In the same way, a seller who questions his own offer invites rejection. Authority must be felt before it is explained. There's another illusion that traps most people: the belief that buyers make logical decisions. They don't. Logic is usually just the justification people use after an emotional decision has already been made. People don't buy cars for transportation. They buy status. They buy dignity. They buy the quiet feeling that they've moved forward in life. People don't buy fitness programs for health. They buy relief from self-disgust. They buy confidence in their own body again. People don't buy education simply for knowledge. They buy leverage. They buy control over their future. The seller who leads with features sounds like a clerk. The seller who leads with identity sounds like a leader. Selling isn't about talking more. It's about exposing the cost of staying the same. What continues to break if nothing changes? What frustration continues tomorrow? What embarrassment keeps repeating? What opportunity keeps slipping away? When the cost of inaction becomes clear, the sale starts making sense on its own. And when this happens, fear disappears from the seller. Fear only exists when you need approval. Another comforting lie also needs to be destroyed. People believe rejection means failure. It doesn't. Rejection simply reveals a misalignment of timing, authority, or positioning. Elite sellers don't seek universal approval. They select. They qualify. They discard. Scarcity isn't just a tactic. It's the natural result of independence. If you desperately need the deal, the buyer owns the frame. But if you're willing to lose the deal, the frame belongs to you. Most sellers operate like servants waiting to be chosen. Those who truly sell anything operate differently. They act like gatekeepers. They're not asking, "Will you buy?" They're asking something more powerful. Are you someone who can actually use this? That shift changes everything. Sales stops being extraction and becomes filtration. Money is not being taken. It's being redirected. The buyer doesn't feel conquered. They feel selected. And once you reach this position, calm, stable, indifferent to the outcome, something surprising happens. The buyer begins convincing themselves. They start arguing for the purchase internally. They justify the decision. That is real power. Sales is not manipulation. It is command of context. Until you understand this, every script, every technique, and every tactic will collapse under pressure. And the first principle behind this entire structure is simple. Never sell something you don't believe in. Power cannot flow through a divided mind. A person who doubts their own offer cannot command belief from anyone else. This isn't philosophy. It's mechanics. One of the most common mistakes in sales isn't bad scripts or weak charisma. It's internal disbelief. And disbelief is fatal. Machiavelli would call this illegitimacy. A ruler who doubts his own right to rule invites conspiracies. A seller who doubts his product invites resistance. People often say they just need better closing techniques. But what they actually need is alignment. Because when you sell something you don't believe in, you create an internal contradiction. Outwardly, you speak confidence. Inwardly, you carry doubt. And humans are extremely sensitive to contradiction. We are natural predators of inconsistency. We trust coherence. We punish hesitation. This is why so many people say sales feels gross. Not because selling itself is immoral, but because they are trying to extract value from something they themselves would never proudly buy. Their conscience pushes back. Their body follows. Their voice tightens. Their language softens. Authority disappears. A man selling luxury does not apologize. A man selling scarcity does not beg. Only the uncertain explain themselves endlessly. If deep down you believe your product is overpriced, average, or easily replaceable, you will behave like it is. No script can hide that forever. No training can override it. Belief is the foundation of authority. Without it, everything eventually collapses. Because people don't buy products. They buy certainty. They buy the calm conviction of someone who knows the outcome will improve their position. And certainty cannot be faked. It must be built internally. Machiavelli warned that rulers who rely only on deception eventually lose both trust and power. The same principle applies to sales. You might be able to convince a customer once through clever words or temporary excitement, but you cannot deceive your own nervous system for long. Your body will eventually betray the truth. It shows in your posture. It shows in your tone. It shows in your timing. This leads to a conclusion that many people refuse to accept. If you do not believe in what you are selling, walk away. Don't push through it. Don't tell yourself you'll fake it until you make it. And don't hope motivation will magically appear later. Those are the strategies of servants, not leaders. If the product you're offering doesn't genuinely improve the buyer's position in a way you respect, then find something better, build something better, or change the market you serve. Real authority comes from standing behind something you would defend without hesitation. Once belief exists, selling changes completely. You stop asking for approval. You stop over-explaining. You stop lowering the price. just to keep someone interested. Instead, you start guiding the conversation. The discussion shifts from, "Will this work?" to, "How quickly do you want the result?" This is why elite sellers often look relaxed. It's not because they're careless, it's because they're not attached to the outcome. They know the product works. They know not everyone qualifies. And they understand that rejection doesn't threaten their identity. Indifference becomes strength. When you are truly convinced of your product's value, money stops feeling like something you are taking. Instead, it feels like something you are redirecting. Redirecting it away from stagnation, away from excuses, toward leverage, toward progress, toward relief. And this is when guilt disappears. Guilt only exists when you feel the exchange is unfair. Belief also changes your standards. You stop trying to sell everyone. You begin qualifying people more seriously. You disqualify faster. Ironically, this alone increases your power. Scarcity is not created through tricks. It is created through standards. A seller without standards is replaceable. A seller with standards becomes a gatekeeper. And that's why this principle comes first. Because every successful salesperson, strategist, and leader in history understood this instinctively. Authority flows from conviction. The market doesn't reward effort. It rewards coherence. If you believe, others follow. If you hesitate, they resist. Principle 2. Before you sell others, you must sell yourself. A person who doesn't believe in themselves cannot convince anyone else to believe either. This isn't motivational language. It's structural reality. Power cannot pass through doubt. It leaks out. Most people fail in sales not because their product is weak, but because they themselves feel internally illegitimate. They ask others to commit, to invest, to take action, while privately knowing they themselves don't live by the standards they're promoting. And people feel this immediately, not logically, instinctively. Machiavelli warned that rulers who cannot govern themselves will never successfully govern others. Self-rule always comes before authority. If you cannot keep promises to yourself, your words lose weight. The market detects this faster than any courtroom. Many people believe confidence comes after results, but the truth is often the opposite. Results follow self-trust. And self-trust is built through discipline, not affirmations. Every time you lie to yourself by delaying, quitting early, or lowering your standards, you weaken your internal authority. And when internal authority weakens, external authority disappears too. This is why some people know the perfect script but still cannot sell. Their language is technically correct, but their presence feels hollow. Buyers don't respond primarily to words. They respond to alignment. When someone stands behind their words with consistent action, people feel safe trusting them. But when someone's behavior contradicts their message, resistance appears immediately. Selling yourself does not mean arrogance. It means credibility. You must know, without hesitation, why you are trustworthy. Not because of titles, not because of charm, but because you consistently do what you say you will do. Consistency is the quiet engine of authority. Machiavelli wrote that reputation is built through repeated action, not declared virtue. The same rule applies here. You don't convince yourself through motivational speeches. You convince yourself through behavior. Waking up when you said you would. Training when it's inconvenient. Preparing when no one is watching. These actions are invisible to others, but they shape everything others eventually perceive. Once you are sold on yourself, rejection changes meaning. You stop seeking validation. Your worth is no longer negotiated externally. Someone saying no stops feeling like an attack. Instead, it becomes information. you adjust, or you move on. This shift is powerful. You stop chasing weak prospects. You stop wasting time with people who hesitate endlessly. You stop shrinking your offer just to be liked. Instead, you begin holding others to your standards, and the market notices this immediately. People naturally follow those who live as proof of their message. They invest in people who embody outcomes, not just describe them. If you want others to believe in their potential, they must see that you already believe in yours. That's why selling yourself comes before everything else. Without it, belief in the product slowly erodes. But with it, even an average offer gains weight. Authority compounds. Principle 3. People don't buy products, they buy escape. Weak sellers explain features. Powerful sellers expose consequences. This difference separates clerks from strategists. Nobody wakes up in the morning thinking, I want to buy a product. People wake up wanting relief. Relief from frustration. Relief from stagnation. Relief from the quiet fear that their life is not progressing. Products are logical objects, but buying is an emotional decision. And those who confuse these two realities struggle to sell anything. One of the biggest illusions in sales is this: if I explain the product clearly enough, they will see the value. But understanding does not create action. Urgency creates action, and urgency is created by pain, not information. Machiavelli understood that people move faster away from danger than toward pleasure. The market follows the same rule. A buyer finally acts when the cost of doing nothing becomes heavier than the cost of change. Your role is not to decorate the solution. Your role is to clarify the trap they are currently stuck in. No one buys transportation. They buy dignity. No one buys weight loss. They buy freedom from embarrassment. No one buys education. They buy leverage over a future that currently controls them. The product is simply the vehicle. The real purchase is psychological freedom. This is why the best sellers ask questions instead of delivering long pitches. Questions are powerful. They force people to confront problems they've been avoiding. Questions like, how long has this been a problem? What has it already cost you? What happens if nothing changes a year from now? Each question sharpens awareness. Each answer tightens the frame. Many inexperienced sellers avoid these questions because they fear making the buyer uncomfortable. But the truth is simple. The buyer is already uncomfortable. You're just removing the illusion that ignoring the problem is harmless. And when the problem becomes undeniable, the solution becomes valuable. But don't misunderstand this process as empathy theater. This isn't about pretending to care or putting on a friendly performance. It's about precision. Precision creates authority. When you can describe a buyer's problem more clearly than they can describe it themselves, something powerful happens. For a moment, you control the narrative. And whoever controls the narrative controls the decision. Another illusion needs to be destroyed. People believe they know exactly what they need. Most of the time, they don't. They feel symptoms, not causes. They focus on surface problems while remaining loyal to the habits that created those problems in the first place. This is where the seller's true role appears. Your job is not persuasion. Your job is diagnosis. You identify the real constraint. Then you present the exit. This is also why demonstrations are more powerful than explanations. When people see the result, belief compresses instantly. A system working in real time. A transformation happening before their eyes. A problem dissolving faster than they expected. These moments collapse doubt. Words ask for trust. Evidence commands it. The seller who talks endlessly about features ends up competing with every other product on the market. But the seller who focuses on escape becomes something different. When the buyer feels that you truly understand their situation, comparisons fade. Price becomes secondary. Delay begins to feel dangerous. And this is where another mistake appears. Many sellers try to sell hope. Hope is weak. Hope says, maybe this could work. Powerful sellers do something different. They sell inevitability. They show that change will happen eventually, with or without this product. The only question is whether the buyer chooses to control that change or be controlled by it. This isn't pressure. It's simply the truth, framed clearly. When done correctly, the conversation shifts. Buyers stop asking about discounts. They start asking about timing. They stop debating value. They start asking how soon they can begin. That shift is the signal that the frame has changed. The question is no longer, do I want this? The question becomes, how quickly can I escape the situation I'm in? Without this shift, you are just selling objects in a market full of objects. With this shift, you are selling exits in a world full of trapped people. And power always follows those who provide exits. Principle 4. Don't persuade. Stand where the money stands. Weak sellers persuade. Powerful sellers decide. Persuasion is usually the behavior of someone who lacks authority and tries to compensate with effort. Machiavelli warned that force often reveals weakness. The same idea applies here. When you try too hard to convince someone, you unintentionally signal that the decision isn't obvious. Here's the trap many sellers fall into. They think their job is to make the buyer understand. But understanding is rarely the problem. Courage is. People already know far more than they act on. What stops them is not lack of information, it's fear of change. And if you start arguing with the buyer, you accidentally join the side of that fear. Instead of arguing, powerful sellers reposition the frame. You must adopt a ruthless but accurate perspective. The buyer's money is currently misallocated. It's sitting in comfort, distraction, delay. None of those produce growth. Your offer is not an expense. It is a reallocation of resources. When you truly believe that, persuasion disappears. You are no longer trying to convince someone to buy. You are guiding their capital toward a better outcome. This is why elite sellers discuss price calmly. They don't defend it. They contextualize it. They compare the investment not with other products, but with the ongoing cost of doing nothing. Lost time, lost confidence, lost opportunity. When those costs are made visible, the price suddenly becomes small. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler who appears uncertain invites rebellion. A seller who negotiates against himself invites hesitation. Never lower your price before it's challenged. Never apologize for value. Apologies signal guilt, and guilt weakens authority. There's another misconception worth addressing. Many people think empathy requires softness, but true empathy is often firmness. It means being willing to say, if you don't change this, nothing will change. Weak sellers call this pressure. Strong sellers call it responsibility. Standing where the money stands means you see the buyer's future more clearly than they currently do. It means you're willing to hold the uncomfortable truth when they retreat into excuses. You don't chase. You don't beg. You wait, and silence becomes your leverage. When this process works, something interesting happens. The buyer stops defending their hesitation. Instead, they begin questioning it. Their own internal voice starts pushing them forward. They start explaining to themselves why the decision makes sense. At that moment, the sale is already done. Notice something important. No persuasion was used. No manipulation. No emotional pleading. Only a shift in perspective. Aggression becomes unnecessary. Aggression is usually the language of insecurity. Authority doesn't need volume. It needs alignment. When your belief in the outcome becomes stronger than the buyer's fear, control naturally shifts to you. This is the difference between people who close occasionally and those who can sell almost anything. The first group chases agreement. The second group redirects momentum, and money always follows momentum. Principle 5. No is not rejection. It is incomplete awareness. Weak sellers hear no and retreat. Powerful sellers hear no and begin diagnosing. Rejection only feels personal when someone is still seeking approval, but in reality, a no is rarely a final verdict. It's simply a signal. It means the frame is incomplete. The value hasn't been fully seen, or the consequences of doing nothing haven't become clear enough. Most sellers collapse the moment they hear rejection because they misunderstand what's actually happening. They assume the buyer has carefully evaluated the offer and decided against it. But that's rarely the case. People don't reject what they fully understand. They reject what feels uncertain, what feels abstract, what feels risky. Machiavelli understood that resistance always grows where clarity is missing. Subjects rebel when a ruler's intentions are unclear. Buyers hesitate when the outcome feels foggy. Confusion creates delay, and delay kills deals. Here's the key distinction. You are not being rejected. The product is not necessarily being rejected either. What is being rejected is uncertainty. When someone says, "I need to think about it," they are usually not thinking. They are avoiding. When someone says, "It's not the right time," time is rarely the real issue. The real issue is courage. The seller who argues with these statements loses control. The seller who investigates them gains control. The correct response to no is not persuasion. It is revelation. What is the buyer still missing? Do they not see the mechanism? Do they doubt the speed of results? Are they unaware of the cost of waiting? Or do they simply need to see that others like them have succeeded? Once the missing piece becomes visible, resistance often collapses. And sometimes the fastest way to create clarity is demonstration. Because seeing compresses belief. Words require trust. Evidence creates it instantly. The weak fear rejection because they attach it to their identity. The powerful separate themselves from the outcome. They understand that selling is a process. Frames are built. Information is sequenced. Decisions emerge. And when rejection happens, it simply means more clarity is required. Sometimes, even after clarity, the answer is still no. And surprisingly, that does not weaken your position. It strengthens it. Because disqualification protects authority. Power is not only maintained by closing the right deals, it is also maintained by refusing the wrong ones. When you truly understand this, rejection loses its sting. No stops being an insult. It becomes information, data, not defeat. And this leads to the next principle. Principle 6. Everything you want lies behind a yes. The powerless wait to be chosen. The powerful ask and structure the moment so that saying yes becomes the natural conclusion. Most people believe opportunities are discovered, but the truth is different. Opportunities are granted, and they are granted to people who know how to move others toward agreement. Machiavelli understood this clearly. Power does not reward virtue alone. Power rewards action. Yet many people remain trapped by a quiet belief. If it's meant for me, it will happen. But nothing meaningful happens without a decision, and every decision requires a yes. If you cannot ask for it or guide someone toward it, your life will constantly be shaped by decisions made by others, because life itself is a series of sales. You sell where you live. You sell who you marry. You sell how your time is spent. You sell what you tolerate. You sell what you refuse. Those who fail to sell their direction are eventually sold on someone else's. One major mistake sellers make is believing the Yes belongs entirely to the buyer. It doesn't. The yes is constructed. It emerges from context, clarity, and confidence applied in the right order. When people hesitate, it's rarely because they lack desire. Most of the time, they lack certainty. Your role is not to pressure them. Your role is to remove every excuse for delay. Machiavelli warned that indecision is often more dangerous than making the wrong choice. In sales, hesitation is the real enemy, not because it blocks the deal, but because it preserves stagnation. A seller who allows endless thinking and delay becomes complicit in the buyer's inaction. To sell anything, you must understand a simple law. People move when someone else holds the vision more firmly than they do. When your belief in the destination becomes stronger than their fear of change, authority transfers. This is why strong sellers speak about outcomes. Weak sellers present endless options. Strong sellers guide. They don't ask, "What would you like to do?" They ask, "Would you like to begin now or after the deadline?" This isn't manipulation. It's leadership. Leaders don't present chaos. They present paths. Another illusion must disappear. Many people think asking for the yes feels uncomfortable, but it only feels uncomfortable when you doubt the value of the outcome. When you know the result improves someone's position, asking becomes responsibility, not risk. The people who fear asking usually fear judgment, but judgment is the tax paid by those who act. The greater danger is invisibility. No one is rewarded for quiet hesitation. Notice something deeper about the yes. It's rarely just about the product. It's about identity. Saying yes means accepting a new version of oneself. A version that is more accountable, more capable, more exposed. Many people hesitate not because they can't afford the investment, but because they fear who they will have to become afterward. Weak sellers stay stuck in logic. Strong sellers understand identity. They frame the yes as alignment with the person the buyer already wants to become. When identity is engaged, resistance fades. And once the yes is spoken, momentum begins. Momentum compounds. One decision strengthens the next. People who consistently say yes to the right things quietly accumulate power, while those who endlessly delay remain controlled by circumstances. Once you understand this principle, you stop waiting. You stop hoping. You stop negotiating with fate. You begin directing it. Principle 7. The rich practice. The poor hope. Hope is the belief system of the powerless. Practice is the discipline of those who intend to win. Many people admire talent because it removes responsibility. If success is a gift, then failure is not their fault. But Machiavelli would dismiss this immediately. Power is rarely accidental. It is engineered through repetition. Selling is not a mysterious art reserved for naturally gifted people. It is a mechanical skill, and like any mechanical skill, it improves through deliberate repetition. Those who wait until they feel ready remain spectators. Those who train become inevitable. The poor believe motivation must come first. The rich understand something different. Action comes first. Confidence comes later. This is why one group keeps dreaming, while the other group keeps compounding results. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Every conversation is practice. Every interaction is training. Those who truly understand sales rehearse intention before they speak. They decide the direction of the conversation before it begins. They treat objections as drills, not threats. Weak sellers say things like, "I don't want to practice on people." Strong sellers practice everywhere. In conversations, in negotiations, even in small everyday decisions. Where to eat, what to prioritize, what to refuse. Each choice strengthens authority. Machiavelli warned that armies rarely lose during battle. They lose during peace when they stop training. Sellers fail for the same reason. They wait for the moment that matters most, and then collapse under pressure. But those who train daily remain calm when the stakes rise. Practice eliminates fear, because fear thrives in uncertainty. Repetition replaces uncertainty with pattern recognition. Once you've faced the same objection hundreds of times, it stops feeling intimidating. It becomes familiar, predictable, manageable. This is why elite sellers remain calm in difficult conversations. They've seen the same resistance countless times before. Confidence is not bravado. Confidence is memory. Another illusion also needs to disappear. Many people think improvement requires massive training sessions. It doesn't. 15 minutes of daily practice will outperform hours of irregular effort. Consistency builds authority. Intensity without discipline builds nothing. People who practice understand that mistakes are valuable. Every failure sharpens judgment. Every misstep improves timing. But those who avoid practice also avoid growth. And eventually, stagnation becomes identity. The poor wait for better circumstances. The rich prepare regardless of circumstances. Hope waits for opportunity. Practice creates it. And sales skill compounds far beyond money. The person who can guide decisions controls outcomes across nearly every area of life. Career, relationships, influence, power. Training is not optional. It is the price of authority. Principle 8. Know when to be silent. Weak sellers talk to feel comfortable. Powerful sellers use silence to take control. Most deals are not lost because of price, not because of competition, not even because of timing. They are lost because the seller cannot tolerate silence. The moment quiet appears, they rush to fill it. They explain more. They reassure. They offer discounts. And with each extra word, authority slowly erodes. Machiavelli warned that those who speak too much reveal insecurity. The same rule applies in sales. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is pressure. When a buyer has already heard enough to decide, additional words do not help. They introduce doubt. Over-explaining shifts the frame. Instead of leadership, it becomes justification. And justification belongs to the accused, not the authority. Many sellers believe more information creates more certainty. But after a certain point, more information only creates confusion. People don't want endless details. They want resolution. Disciplined sellers watch for signals. When buyers start asking about logistics, timelines, or implementation, the decision is already moving internally. At that moment, talking becomes sabotage. Machiavelli understood that restraint often signals power. A ruler who reacts to every situation appears unstable. A seller who answers every hesitation instantly appears uncertain. Silence communicates confidence. One of the most powerful questions in sales is simple. Have you heard enough to make a decision? This question does not pressure. It clarifies. If the answer is no, the conversation continues. If the answer is yes, the deal moves forward. Either way, silence restores control. Silence also reveals truth. When you stop talking, the buyer fills the space. Their real concerns emerge. Their hesitation surfaces. The seller who listens gains leverage. The seller who talks loses it. Silence also protects scarcity. Too many words cheapen value. When you speak less, each sentence carries weight. The buyer leans in instead of tuning out. Attention follows restraint. People fear silence because they believe it means losing control. But silence is control. It signals independence. It shows that you do not need the deal to survive. That calm self-sufficiency is felt immediately. Machiavelli taught that Appearing self-sufficient strengthens authority. In modern sales, silence often communicates that signal. Final principle: mistakes do not destroy deals. Panic does. Many sellers behave as if every conversation is fragile. One wrong word, one awkward moment, one mistake, and the deal is ruined. But this belief creates tension, and tension invites resistance. Machiavelli would dismiss this fear. Power is not fragile. Only insecurity is. Deals rarely die because of mistakes. They die because the seller panics afterward. A mistake simply reveals humanity. Panic reveals weakness. Buyers forgive small errors easily, but they rarely trust insecurity. When a seller makes a mistake and calmly continues, authority remains intact. When they collapse and over-apologize, trust disappears. People change their minds constantly. The person you are speaking to now may think differently 10 minutes from now. Circumstances change. Pressures change. Urgency appears. Human decisions are fluid. This is why elite sellers remain emotionally detached from each conversation. Not indifferent, just calm. They understand the game is long. One conversation does not define a career. One mistake does not define a deal. Confidence after an error restores control. Machiavelli once wrote that fortune favors those bold enough to act and stable enough to endure setbacks. Sales rewards the same mindset. Act decisively. Recover instantly. Continue without hesitation. When you internalize this, anxiety fades. You stop trying to be perfect. You stop walking on verbal glass. You speak freely. You listen carefully. You adapt in real time. And adaptability is dangerous in the best possible way. Because in a world where most people freeze under pressure, the adaptable seller wins. The person who sells well always stands above the transaction. Power in sales is not forced. It is accepted through structure. Weak sellers obsess over tactics. Strong sellers understand position. When your position is strong, techniques become secondary. When your position is weak, no technique can save you. The best sellers are rarely the loudest or most charismatic people in the room. They are calm, selective, and completely willing to walk away. They do not chase trust. They embody legitimacy. Machiavelli taught that authority must appear natural, and the same rule governs sales. When you believe deeply in what you offer, when you govern yourself before attempting to guide others, when you expose problems instead of decorating solutions, when you stand where the money should stand, then something changes. Rejection loses power. Silence becomes leverage. Mistakes become recoverable. Fear disappears. Selling stops feeling like pressure. It becomes alignment. You are no longer extracting value. You are directing it. And money always moves toward clarity, certainty, and conviction. Those who understand this do not operate from motivation. They operate from structure. And structure does not negotiate. Stand above. Decide calmly. Let others follow. That is the final principle.